World and the Magic Kingdom. Now today's video is going to be somewhat unique because today I'm going to talk about the things that I personally love and some things that I'm still adjusting to about living in Central Florida and specifically near Walt Disney World. Now before I dive into all of it, I want you to keep in mind that this video comes from the perspective of a Disney enthusiast. I have loved Disney for my entire life. I've wanted to move down to Florida for years and years and years, and that's where I'm coming from. Now keep in mind this video is all about my love of Disney, how that's changed, how it's adjusted, things that I like, all of those things all about Disney. If you're looking for Florida specific items, just about the weather or other cost of living items in Florida, I have a video I've already made about that, linked to this video. Let's get started first with something that I love about living in Florida, and that's being up to date all the time with things that are coming soon, like the Tron Light Cycle ride. Take a look at some of that construction right over there. The track is really coming along now. It's so good to see, and to be here for all of the construction is awesome. I love to be right on the cutting edge. Now on that same note, being here for all of the construction and everything that's coming new, it means that I won't miss an opening. Every single resort, every single ride, the new lands, whatever it is, I will be here for that, and I love it. Absolutely love it, you know I do. An opening event, a brand new ride, those kind of things can never get old. When it comes to things that never get old, views like that never get old either, and I love it. The fact that I can come in and see those views over and over and over again, it's magical, truly magical. In addition to new experiences, classic experiences like the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, which you know I love, I can go on again and again, and yes, that can get repetitive if you do it too much, and that's another point I will be making as I continue here, but I can go and I can experience it on a new level. Maybe I'm just people watching this time, or maybe I'm kind of keeping one eye shut so I can really see Space Mountain when I go inside in the dark. Just different perspectives on a classic. Now I want to get back to that point about things becoming repetitive, and I have noticed that that is the case for some things, and it depends on how long I'm away from something. For example, if I don't go to Animal Kingdom for a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, then everything feels like new again to me. Now I don't know if that's going to last forever. Again, this is only coming from 4 or 5 months of living here, but it's one of those feelings where you can re-experience it again and again, and I love that. Now on that same point, one change that I have really noticed since living in Florida, and many friends actually predicted this one, if it's more than about, I'm gonna say 15-20 minute wait, I'm more than likely not going to stand in it, unless it's something like Flight of Passage or something I really want to experience that day. If it's just kind of a walk around, enjoy the day kind of day, usually I don't wait too long for attractions, just because I know I can come back any other time. Now you may be saying to yourself, Michael, 20 minutes for a ride, you're never gonna go on anything. Yes, that's true, but sometimes you still get fast passes, or I'll go during a time of year where it's slower, or maybe I will wait longer if I really want that ride on that specific day. But one thing that I've noticed is that when friends or family are in the area, for example, when my mom was here, we'd go on anything and had a great time with it, anything she wanted to do, and we loved it. So yes, I will wait in those lines to experience them with friends and family. Now, one of those items that hit me immediately was my love of the relaxation part of it, because in the past, when I came to Disney, we were here together, it was so much fun, but we were running around a million miles an hour trying to get to every ride, every show, everything, and see everything in a 4-day period, 5-day period, 7-day period, but it came to an end. Now there's no end. There's no end, and I love it. I love that feeling because I can sit on this bench all night, do everything I want to do, just sit on this bench, and I love it. I love that feeling. It has changed the magic for me in a positive way, that feeling. So time is definitely one of the biggest positives. Time in terms of I have so much time to experience it all, unlimited time to experience it all. But there's a counter to that. There's another side to that one. It also means that I'm probably not going to spend as much time in the parks as I will somewhere else. For example, I go to work and then I come to the parks, and then I know I have to leave by a certain time to wake up for work tomorrow morning. So there's kind of a flip side to that. I mean, I'm getting used to it, I'm getting to the swing of it, but that's one of those things where I'm like, oh, it's the you can't stay till midnight every single night because you have work the next day, and it's just something to keep in my mind. Now, that's just something I think I have to get over, but it is something that really hit me very hard, knowing that, oh no, I can't stay till midnight, or I can't even stay till 11 because I have work tomorrow morning. It's something that I think that was the most difficult for me, or one of the most difficult parts for me. I'm so used to experiencing the magic in one way, and then being able to say, I can't experience it that way anymore. It's different. It's different, but it doesn't mean I love the magic less. It just means I wish there was more time in the day. Now on to food, and that's always been one of those things where I wish I had more time. I want to try more of the food. I want to go to more of the restaurants. And in the past, it always was, gotta prioritize. Do I pick my favorites or do I try something new? It's always a tough one at Disney. Do you pick your favorite or do you try something new that you've heard great things about? Now, we don't have to choose, and I love that. I love that part. Of course, there is a flip side to that as well. Sometimes the things that you're not as familiar with don't taste quite as good as the ones that are your favorites, but that's okay. That's all right. I'd rather have it that way than not have enough time. In addition to trying new experiences like new food and new restaurants, I also get to expand my passions. You know, I have a passion for photography. I've never used this before. I've had it for years. It's how I keep my camera for when I want to take pictures, still pictures, not for vlogging. You know this camera, I've used it for years for vlogging, but now I can keep it by my side and use it for photography. Now, that being said, on another note, the GoPro is doing very, very well. I don't think it's the forever vlogging camera. It's probably a good backup camera, definitely keeping it, but there are some parts about it, low light, that I do want to improve. Now, another one that I touched on earlier, but I want to dive deeper into is the anticipation for a Disney vacation. That one was tough. That was one of the tougher ones because for years we would anticipate the adventures. We'd think about Flower and Garden, and we're gonna go down, it's gonna be amazing. Here's what we wanna see and do, here's what's new. And that anticipation after 4 months is really, there's not much left of it. It's really not that much. It's still there a tiny bit, but not even close to where it used to be. In addition to trying and experiencing new things, we also learn a lot. Like the secrets of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party linked to this video. I was only able to make that because I was here enough to learn all the little secrets. And I love that. I love that we're learning a lot more of the depth of Walt Disney World. There's so many small experiences like Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, which in the past I couldn't even get close to because I was so busy doing everything else. But now everything's on the table. I can experience every small experience, Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom or anything else, and have fun with it the whole time, smile the whole time with every new experience. Now, of course, it's not just limited to the parks, the resorts as well. We have more time to experience all of those. And to be honest, look at the 4 months, 5 months we've been here. I haven't even gotten to every single resort. For example, we haven't been to the All-Stars. So just to show you, there is so much to see and do. It's endless. It's endless, and I love it. Now, one of those things that's taking me a moment to adjust to is the amount of time that we do have here. And I've found something very in particular that's happened. I haven't been prioritizing certain things, like meeting different characters, and I love meeting different characters, but it seems to have shifted on my priority list, almost subconscious, in my subconscious that's happened. It's not a bad thing, not a bad thing at all. It's just interesting how it's happened. Now, something else that has changed significantly since moving here is the fact that, you know, I don't treat Disney World as a vacation destination for myself anymore. Yes, we had this staycation, it was magical, but it's a different type of vacation than we're used to. I mean, usually at Disney World vacations, we go on the rides, we go on the shows, we don't spend time in the resorts. That is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just different. And one part of that, again, has to do with the anticipation. And I feel like even though the anticipation is not quite the same for Walt Disney World, and it's not, and that's okay, the anticipation is there for something else. Now we've got Disney Cruising or Aulani or whatever it is, we can kind of transfer that anticipation to something else. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just different. It's just something that takes getting used to. One thing that may be specific just to me, so this could just be a Michael thing, but one thing that I've noticed is that when I have no specific plan at the park, like that's something I want to ride, something I want to do, just hanging out, just having a good time, I find myself kind of pacing around the park a lot, just pacing around, walking around, appreciating it. I think it's probably part of the stages of becoming, you know, more attuned to being here so frequently. I like it a lot, but it's just a big change. It's a big change for me. Now, there's one big thing that I've yet to fully adapt to, and that's the ability to disconnect at Disney. Now, one of those things that is really taking me a long time to adapt to is real life stuff when you're at Disney. And, you know, in the past, when we've been at Disney together, it's always been, you know, real life fades away when you're at Disney. You're there, you just enjoy it. But now that we're here, more days than we're not, which is amazing. I love being at Disney more days than we're not. It's getting tougher and tougher to not think about paying rent or paying taxes or whatever it is when you're at the most magical place on earth. So I found a strategy. It's somewhat working. Whenever we go through the gate, the main gate where you drive in, you drive under that sign that says Walt Disney World, whenever we go through there, whoever I'm with, Mom or David, whoever it is, we don't talk about anything real life stuff while we're on property. We save all of those conversations for off-property. So I don't think about paying rent, I don't think about work, I think about having fun. It's becoming more and more difficult to kind of keep with that mindset because we're here so often. So, you know, you do real life things, but I'm trying to stick to it as best I can. That's one of the more difficult parts for me. But I feel like with time, I'll adapt. We'll adapt together to get there. Now, with all of that in mind, how do I feel about living in the Orlando area as a Disney enthusiast? Short version, I love it. I love it, I absolutely do. There are so many things to enjoy at Walt Disney World. The possibilities are endless. The amount of things to do on Disney property, in my opinion, are endless. It will take me years to go through everything, and then once I have gone through everything, there'll be new things to experience. So I love it. Of course, there are going to be things that have to kind of adapt with me when I go to the parks, when I go home at night, the anticipation for different attractions, all these different things. But I think that's part of the experience. And I'm super happy with everything we have experienced so far, and I know it's just a matter of time before we get more acclimated to being at Disney so frequently. Now, one big question I do want to address here that's been asked of me several times is moving to Florida right for you? That is such a specific question. I wish I had one answer for everyone, but I don't. It depends on you. What makes you happy? Why are you moving? Think about the magic. And let's say you were at Disney every single day, just like we are together. Would that make you happy? Are you sure it would make you happy? Because I did not give it as much thought as I should have. Honestly, I didn't. That being said, I love living here, wouldn't want to live anywhere else, but I didn't realize how much the magic would change for me. And yes, it's not all like, oh my gosh, amazing, the anticipation is starting to go a little bit, but there's so many things that I love about living here. I couldn't see myself living anywhere else. So it comes down to you. It's a very personal decision. I sure hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you're thinking about moving to the Orlando area, or maybe you just want to learn more, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.